Welcome to another AMI Tech Talk. Today we're going to talk about the TGA and hooking up the gases and the water and some of the different options for the gases. The TGA has both a balance purge and it has a sample purge. This allows you to run just a balance purge if you want, so that you can keep a positive pressure in the valence chamber, preventing any evolved gases from coming up into the valence chamber, thus protecting the valence and also preventing like buoyancy effect and things like that. Then if you need a reaction gas, you can also add a second gas, which would go directly into the reaction chamber and react with the sample as you're heating it. So let's go with the connections now, and also the gases that you might select. For example, you might use argon, or you might use nitrogen for an inert environment, or maybe helium, or you could use compressed air for a non-inert environment. If you need a very inert environment, say you're using cesium or something that's going to react with oxygen, then you're going to want to remove all water content. So you'll want to add a drying agent in line with your purge gas so that it prevents for any moisture that can then turn into oxygen and react with your sample. So with the TGA, you get a dual flow meter. This allows you to hook up a flow going to the balance purge and a separate flow going to the sample purge, or the reaction chamber purge. We supply these with 1/8 NBT connectors, and we supply them standard with these hose bar connectors that then screw in like you see here. You can optionally ask for a push connector in either a 4mm or an 8mm, and we can also provide those for you instead. Or you can provide your own. Anything that has an 8mm or an 8-inch NBT threads on the back side can thread into the instrument. Now, you hook up the gas, you put the gas in, the gas out. Over here, you dial in the pressure, rate of flow you want. Recommended flow rates. For the balance purge, we recommend 3 to 5 cc's. This will give you a constant pressure here, but will not give you a high flow rate down into the reaction chamber. If you then want a reaction gas, we recommend that you run somewhere between 3 and 10 cc's. You can go as high as like 20 or even 50 cc's. But remember, if you go to the higher cc flow rate, you're going to get more turbulence in the chamber, and it's going to show up on the TGA signal. Now, one other option that we offer is a gas switching accessory for up to 4 gases. We have a connector here, which then uses the software to control that gas switching accessory. In that case, you get additional flow meters, and what you'll do is you'll hook up the gas into the flow meter, the output of the flow meter into the gas meter, and then the gas switching accessory will then go and hook up to the purge gas in. The gas switching accessory then will relieve any pressure that is on the flow meter just prior to switching it over to the output. This way you don't get an inrush of gas every time you switch the gas. Talk to your sales representative if you're interested in adding that as an option. Now, about hooking up. The water hookup, we supply with our recirculating unit this braided hose. You're going to hook it up to the water in and the water out. And then there's a quick disconnect here. You're going to plug into the water recirculating unit. Make sure you get the input to the input and the output to the output. Otherwise, it's not going to be cooling correctly. You'll provide your own tubing. This here is a black tubing. You could also use clear tubing for the gas. When you have the 1/4-inch ID, you just slide it on and then put a hose clamp on to hold it tight. We recommend about 5 to 10 PSI maximum with your regulator. So you'll need to either get tanks, or if your facility has pipe gas, you can use that, whatever you want to do. If you choose to use water for your unit from tap, you'd have hosing then that would hook up the heater and then hook to the tap, and you'd set the flow rate to about 200 to 300 cc per minute. This is the TGA, goes to the connections. You're ready to go once that's hooked up.